So
We've gone past 7.
no, all right.
All right, it says we're live. So welcome, live from the crossroads of America to Shooting with Disabilities. We talk about guns, politics, anything else on this show, unfortunately. We go off topic quite a lot. We'll answer questions from the audience. Just put them in the chat or email me at rickslife, as I see it, at gmail.com or spottedrick@gmail.com. I have a Patreon page and all that good stuff. It's all listed down there in the not in the comments, in the information section on the YouTube page there. All my stuff. So, it's when we got, anyway, welcome everybody. Let me see who was in the chat. First was Jason Stewart, then Rich White. Yoda, Texas is here. Sabrina's here. Hey, Sabrina. So people will start climbing in, right? Or climbing in or coming in or whatever. And let me introduce my panel at the moment. I've got Patriot in the Dark. How you doing?
Well, good afternoon, everyone. Hi, Sabrina.
Afternoon. It's 6 p.m. where you're at, isn't it?
Yeah, it's afternoon.
Now, depends how you want to look at it. Then we got the New York Outcasts. How you doing?
Doing well. Thanks for having me. It's just after 7 in the real time zone.
Yeah, the only time zone that matters really is the Eastern time. That's what the world works on, you know. So, because really, like when I was living in Europe and I wanted to call back here to the States, I always figured out what the time was based on the East Coast. Once I got that figured out, then I could do the rest of it. So the East Coast is the one that counts. When I'm just saying, that's all. So, Raphael's here now. That's good. Anyway, now don't all leave the show from what I'm about to say now. But I was looking for stuff to talk about, like shooting with disabilities, something on that topic, because I've been lacking lately. With this coronavirus going on, we've gone way off topic, but I'm trying to get back on. And I found the link, and I clicked on it. I should have read it better. But actually, it turns out it's not as bad as you think, but it actually took me to, you ready for it? The NRA webpage. Now, before you all leave, let me say the page it took me to was the NRA Adaptive Shooting Program. Mm-hmm. And in this, it's for disabled shooters. And basically, it's it's got a list. It will list shooting ranges in your state on it. Plus, I went under resources, and it got adaptive product display, and it lists all different companies. Quite a list there who make stuff for disabled shooters.
It's actually cool, Rick. I'm not a fan of the NRA myself.
No, I'm not.
Everything that's happened, but that's what they should be doing. So,
and
you gotta compliment something when it's good and shout it out when it's not. So,
all right, those like the equipment, is that like braces and things of that nature?
Well, it lists the names.
I'm sure there's going to be a lot of bracing because that's what they're for. They're not for just every guy out there to.
No, it lists the name of the companies.
Okay.
More than what the actual item. It tells you, it gives you a brief description of what they're selling. But there's another one there. If you guys are into hunting, it's got a hell of a database for a hunting database. These are hunting organizations that help with people with disabilities, and it's listed by state. And most of them, the help they give you at no cost, which I thought was pretty cool, So I just wanted to mention that to anybody out there who's interested. I know it's the dreaded NRA. This is the stuff that they're good at. And unfortunately, the money gets sucked away from this kind of stuff to go to the pay Wayne, and that's the shame of it all.
Did you post a link to that in the chat?
No, I haven't. I will.
See, Dave is not here. He's usually on top of all that.
Yes, he is. Let me.
I believe we have been joined by Kingpin.
Well, I guess I'm not only invisible to the blind guys, I'm invisible to the regular sighted guys too.
I haven't got my page up yet. That's why I'm looking at a different page. When I click on a thing, the page goes away. So,
well, good afternoon.
How you doing, Kingpin? Kingpin's joined us here on the panel. So, how you doing?
All right, what's happening, everybody?
All right, I put the link in the chat. I know it, but that's the link to that page if anybody's interested who's into in the disabilities. So I just wanted to bring that up because that is what we're meant to be about.
That's good. Oh,
also, I got the phone call Monday that my 1875 Uberti Outlaw 7.5-inch barrel is in. And it's now Wednesday, and I still haven't picked it up. And it's driving a couple of people crazy on the morning chat that I haven't gone and got it.
I bet.
I mean, and I've said this before, and we've talked about this on this show. Yes, it's that, I'm going to spend it. It's out of that stimulus money. That's what it's for. But I tell a lot of my personal stuff on here, so I really don't care. I mean, this month, unfortunately, it's a 5 5-week payday for me. Okay. Now I normally don't tell this part of my story, but I have how many 3 or 4 of these 5-week paydays or whatever during the year. But normally what happens is I get charged a late fee on some of my bills because it's not paid on. It's due on the 1st, and they give you so many days to pay it, then they charge you a late fee, right? Normally, I suck it up and pay the late fees. My paycheck this week is the 8th. So instead of paying the late fees, I mean, it only comes to, it's less than $50 total for all the ones that hit me for the late fees. But I use that money to pay the bills that normally charge a late fee to get them out of the way. Just to be a nice guy and not pay a late fee. Yes, and I still have enough money left over. I could go buy the gun right now. But it would leave me almost broke. So that's why I haven't gone and got it. So I'm waiting for my check on. As soon as my check hits Friday, it comes at 12, normally averages 12:36 in the afternoon. It arrives on Friday. That's when it hits my bank, normally around 12:36. And normally that's when I'm in the chat. And as soon as it comes in, I say goodbye, everybody, and I sign out, close the computer down, and off I go. So that is what I'll be doing this Friday. As soon as the check gets here, I'll be saying goodbye and heading down to the gun store to get it. So Jason just got my new Nikes today, fresh off the boat from China. Yeah, those little kids sure make some sweet kicks. Yeah, they do. Midnight Range. I should call the companies and ask to move your due date for those bills. I can give it a try. I never really thought about it, to be honest with you. So anyway, that's the story. So I just want to throw that out there. And that's why I really haven't got the gun yet. That's why I haven't picked it up. I could go get it, but I didn't want to. I'm used to being broke, but once you got money, you don't like being broke. So, So when Friday comes, I'm going to go buy it, and hopefully they got some more. I hope they got the reloading supplies, because that store is also a Lee authorized dealer, and he carries their stuff. So I'm hoping they've got the reload, like the dyes I need and all that. I got to get some powder. So What's a good powder for loading 45 Colt? Anybody out there in the chat? Because I mean, I think Bullseye is one powder I use, and what's the other one? CFE. I think they burn too fast for that single action. So I need a slower burning powder, I think. You got mail. That's what somebody told me anyway. So I don't know if that's true or not. So if anybody's out there who does reloading in the chat at the moment, type it in there and let me know. So that's what I'm doing on Friday, guys. So I went shooting on Monday. I don't know if did I tell people I went shooting on Monday?
Are we going to get a review video of the Ubarti?
Of what?
Are we going to get a review video, a tabletop review of the Ubarti?
Oh, yes, you are. Yes, I will make one. I will make one just to show everybody that I got it. And because I mean, it's nickel plated. From the pictures, it looks sweet. You know?
I can't speak for the world, but you know, you don't have to tell us your whole daily basis there. You know, people are wondering why. Then you know, too bad. You know.
Yeah, I don't mind telling people. I mean,
you don't need to know all your business. I mean, it's not a problem, but
you know,
somebody out there is writing a schedule coming to get you.
Did you?
Yeah.
Did you pick out a holster yet?
No. But see, I was thinking about this. I more than likely never carry it because it's a big old gun, and all I need is something to carry it from here down to there. I was thinking of just getting me one of them gun socks to put it in.
Oh no! You sure you're not going to wear it to Deb's? I mean, you step in there with that shining.
No, it's way it's way too big. I'm thinking, but if I do get one, I'll get a cross draw holster for it. You know, so that's another thing too. Is lately I've noticed that, as everybody knows, I'm left-handed, but I learned to shoot right-handed because of the damage to my left. But lately, when I've been practice dry firing around the house during this stay in place order, I noticed I've been picking the gun up with my left hand. You know, that 380, I can hold that 380 in my left hand. So it's, I wonder what, do I need to, I mean, should I start carrying it on the left-hand side again? You know? But I'm not sure how I mean, I can shoot it with my left hand because I've done it because it got very little recoil. You know? But all my other guns, I'm going to have to shoot right-handed because my left hand can't handle that recoil because of the damage to it.
Yeah, I don't think I would chance it.
You know? So what? I just keep shooting with my right?
Yeah, I mean, you might want to practice with your left hand or something, but I definitely would just, I can shoot it and then just start carrying it that way. I don't.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd go with whatever you're more proficient with because if you do end up needing it, it's better off to be more solid in the hand, quicker on the draw, and functional.
Also, I got one of those. It looks like to me, it looks like a fishing vest. So when everybody sees, oh, he's carrying because it must be a carry vest, is I wear one of those. I don't like wearing jackets unless it's really, really cold. So I wear that vest. But it does have a pocket inside on each side that you can put a firearm in. And I've noticed lately, if I use that instead of my holster, I stick it in the right side pocket for a left-hand draw. I just automatically do it without even thinking. Jason said, just get 2 guns each hand. Problem solved. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Not a bad idea.
Yeah, I use both hands on a handgun. The right side is is far gone not to be supported when firing. Yeah, I mean, yeah, now, more likely I will be firing at you, Birdie, even though it's a single action sort of cowboy gun. I'll more likely be firing it two-handed anyway. You know, I'll give it a try shooting it single-handed, but I'll more likely be doing a two-handed grip on it most of the time. No.
So did you order the chaps, boots, and hat?
I already got the hat.
Come on, tell us the good stuff.
For years. You know, I got a black hat too because I'm a bad guy. You know.
Yeah, that was my next question. What color is the hat, black or white?
It's black.
You said that, and I pictured a little derby hat, though.
Actually, I even got a pair of boots around here somewhere, but because of my back, I haven't worn them in years because I can't get them on. You know, because you got to bend over and pull them on. I can't do that. You know, I know there's more like gadgets I could get to do it, but you know, why make work for myself?
Just stand the boots up at the end of your bed, step up on top of your bed, and then jump up in the air and land in the boots.
Yeah. That might
Hard
work.
to get them off, though.
You know, then I'll have to get me a boot. I mean, I don't know whatever happened to my boot jack. You know, I can get them off. It's getting them on is the hard part. You know,
I think if you jump on top of them off your bed, you might not be able to get them off either.
yeah, I know that's another problem. So, all right. So anyway, you guys got any topics you want to bring up? I know what I want to bring up, but it's got nothing to do with disabilities. That's why I was trying to make this drag on a little bit longer. Was two things actually. One was that woman who was jailed for 7 days in Texas. I mean, I think she was jailed because she refused to apologize to the government for breaking their rules. That's what the judge said. What a bunch of bullshit that is. Have you guys seen that story?
I hope they rename Texas after her. I hope she sues everybody that lives in Texas, everybody that knows anybody that lives in Texas, anybody that's ever used the word Texas. And just a little poke to everybody that lives in Texas. How about that's never going to happen here? There goes your Texas, turning into California day by day.
Oh yeah, I mean, I've been saying for a couple of years now, Texas has gone purple, and I wouldn't be to come this November. It's going to go blue. You know, so you know you're all saying it's not going to happen here. Bloomberg spending millions to turn Texas just like it did Virginia, and everybody in Virginia said it ain't going to happen here. So Texas is next.
I was gonna say I'm not familiar with the story, but you know, sad to say that sounds similar to the New York government. So, yeah, I've known a few people that have been, I would state, held up longer than they should be due to their attitude about it. So, it's a strange thing.
Oh, Yoda, Texas said, wait a minute, there was a lot of us Texans who were supporting her.
Well, of course not. I mean, hashtag not all. Of course, you know, when I clicked back over to the YouTube side, I was like, oh, Yoder's in here. I better make sure he knows I'm not talking about him because, I mean, there's still plenty of excellent Texans out there, good-hearted Americans and Texas-loving Texans, but, you know, a whole bunch of them, we've heard it for years. It's never going to happen here. It's never going to happen here.
Yeah.
Crazy people always want the power. The good people are happy living their lives usually. So.
And that judge is an elected judge.
Taken over by the nuts.
That judge is an elected judge, and I don't know what party it ran on. But being in Dallas, I wouldn't be surprised there was a Democrat ticket. You know? So that judge will still be there because they'll be voted in again because Dallas is Democrat. All the major cities in Texas now are Democrat. So it's just the way it is, unfortunately. All right. That was that was one thing I saw that the story was this hairdresser has opened her shop because she wants to do. She's trying to do, the social distancing thing, but she's doing it because she needs money to feed her kids. And that's what she told the judge. And the judge told her she's breaking the rules. She needs to apologize to the government for breaking the rules. Plus, I think they were going to find her, $500 a day for every day she opened, and it's come up to like $7,000, and she ain't paying it. And I think she was put in jail for 7 days. I think it was mainly for contempt of court. I think, but I could be wrong. But I didn't think they specified the length of time for contempt of court. I thought you were in contempt of court until you apologized or paid a fine. So I don't know. But there we go. And the next one is, I saw it a couple of days ago, and I was going to mention it. This coming Saturday, but I thought I'd bring it up now since we're running out of topics. And of course, what made me think about it for tonight, I haven't seen it yet, but I just saw the clickbait for my Yankee video that he just put up. But I did watch that show when Sean Hannity was going on about that Michigan protest with the guys with the guns, long guns, looking them with the militia and stuff. And he was saying, I'm the biggest Second Amendment supporter, but, he thinks they were intimidating. They weren't helping the cause or anything.
Yeah, I'm surprised that hasn't been more widely talked about. I was watching it and I was sitting there thinking, Sean Hannity, what are you trying to do to your fan base? You're gonna piss a lot of people off by saying that, dude. At least Stan Bongino kind of pushed back a little bit.
Yes, he did. He did. That's what I was thinking. I was thinking, God damn, Sean, what's happened to you? But is this his true feelings coming out? It makes you wonder what. I mean, I don't know how to explain. I think he was wrong. I mean, I've had this discussion. I mean, I used to think like he did in the few short years I've been a gun guy, but I changed my mind a couple of years ago on it. It does look. I mean, yes, to me, the newspapers are going to. I'm quite surprised the newspapers haven't splashed it all over the front page. But I don't know. I mean, I used to think that they weren't doing much good by walking around with all that gear on and showing them, but it's their right. But what has happened? I read somewhere, I can't remember where I read it, that now after that, in Michigan, politicians on both sides of the aisle are talking about doing a bill to ban firearms in the Michigan State House now.
They just had another thing that happened in by Flint. I don't know. Some lady was arguing with a guard or somebody that was working at one of the local stores, and then they left, and two guys came back and basically killed the guy. And the prosecutor here in Genesee County was saying that, oh yeah, it's probably, I mean, when you see all that stuff on TV about those armed guys going to the Capitol and stuff, so they're trying to tie in all sorts of stuff, and it's worthless.
Yeah.
But anybody in Flint is Democrat. They have been. That's why it's the worst city in the world.
Yeah, that's why they had the worst water too. Because instead of spending money on the water plant, they spend it on other stuff. Giving away free cheese. So I don't know. It's but I mean, the scary part is, what's your government like in Michigan? Is it Republican majority or Democrat majority?
It's as long as I've known, it's always been, majority where I've been located in Michigan has always been Union, and it's always been Democrat.
Yeah.
Where I've been, we've had.
What I was saying is when they're saying both sides of the aisle, of course you got rhinos on the Republican side or the right side, the conservative side, are saying that we may even need to write a bill now to ban firearms from the state capitol. That's what I don't know if that's what Hannity was trying to say. It's going to hurt you instead of help you. I don't know, but I mean, did you guys see that show that?
I saw it.
Yeah. It was kind of, I was listening to him and going, oh my God. And there he is with his, he wears a Punisher pin on his lapel now, and I'm thinking, well, I said, you're looking terrible. You're looking, like you've turned total libtard on us. That's a bad word to use, but it looks like, what Yankee would say. He looks like a FUD.
Who told you saying libtard was a bad word?
What?
Who told you that saying libtard was a bad word?
I don't know. Well, because some liberals are liberal. I guess I'm liberal. I don't want people to confuse it with a libertarian.
Libertarians is fake news. I hate people running around talking about I'm a libertarian. Prove it to me. Show me one libertarian ever that has ever won anything or done anything positive. Libertarian is such fake news. I hate hearing people say that they're libertarians.
Yeah, and I hate people saying I'm not voting for Trump this time around. I'm going to vote libertarian. All you're doing is giving the Democrats the presidency. Is all you're doing. I mean,
libertarians are Democrats.
We've had this discussion before. The only way a libertarian or the third party is going to make it's going to take 20, 25 years to be able to is to start at the local level. Your local councils, you work from your council to your mayor, from your mayor to your state, until it spreads through the country. That's the only way a third party is going to work. Putting a third party candidate on the president's president election ballot just ain't going to work. I'm sorry. The closest thing you had to it was way back when Perot done it, and it was because of him. That is how Clinton got in. So that's all I'm saying. So to me, if you're not voting or you're voting libertarian, you're just giving your vote to the other side. Prove me wrong. Yeah.
And next thing you know, you're going to go to your store and you're going to get ground beef that's 60-40.
Oh yeah. Well, let me see if I can bring it back up again. Hang on.
Show Midnight that one.
Let me bring it back up. Downloads. Where is it?
I think a third party could be somewhat feasible, but not within, not now, not right till the election. But I think, anything can change. But people always do the same. It's always going to be the same. So any significant difference. So I would just say any significant difference like this, depending on the perception from the public and what choices we have. If there was a viable third candidate party, person, they might not get in, but what's to say in 2-3 cycles down they could due to this. It's hard to predict the future. Things stay the same till they don't, though. I think anything's possible. Not saying it's likely, but
they're attacking to the ground beef. If everybody's looking out there in a chat, they're restaurant quality, 2 pound thing. That's the label. That's the label.
That was taken about 40 minutes ago at my local grocer.
Yep. Now that's the label side. So let me get rid of that one. and bring up the other one. Come on, where
And
are you?
that's the beef.
Now, where'd it go? Man, I just had it. You son of a bitch. Okay, here it is. And this is what it looks like when you turn it over.
Good.
There you go. I mean, that's a fat piece of ground. That's some fat ground beef. I would say, I mean, to me, it looks like 60-40. But when you flipped it over, I'm not going to bring that picture back up. I couldn't see where it had the percentages on it. And I thought by law they had to do that. So,
What's that green stuff?
what green stuff?
Yeah, the label said 30% soylent something, but I couldn't see any.
Oh, okay.
No.
Yeah. Anyway, I stopped sharing it. But anyway, that's what that was what your ex-wife bought, right? Or purchased?
No, she just took a picture. No, she wouldn't touch that. Well, I guess she did flip it over. No,
she just took a picture.
The last time that it was in the store, I said, make sure you get a picture of it. I want to, because she was trying to explain it, saying it looked like Spam, how that had kind of coagulated. It was pretty bad, and it was a larger package. The first one was like a 10-pound cube. It was big, vacuum sealed or whatever. But she said that they came back, and she just took it and. So.
That was. I mean, I wouldn't buy it. It's just way too fatty for me. I mean, I'll go as low as 75-25, but normally I buy 80-20 because it's the best of both worlds. You got enough fat in it to make it juicy and lean enough to keep the fitness freaks happy. So, all right. Well, where were we? What were we discussing? Anything? Come on, guys. Let's keep going. We got 30 minutes.
I was going to say before that, we were talking a little bit about the third party thing, and I think Ken might have had something to say.
But I mean, as I said, the third party thing is going to take a minimum 20 years for that to work. I mean,
you got a third party candidate in the office right now.
Do what?
And everybody, you got Donald Trump you have a third party candidate in office right now. His name's Donald Trump, and everybody hates his guts. I'm so sick of hearing about third parties. The third party would be viable. I agree with Rob. Rob was making a real good point. If I was understanding him right, if a third party came out and said, "This is my platform," they'd have a chance to win, but they don't. They say, we like a little of that, we like a little of this, we like a little of that, and they always lean toward the Democrat side. But like I said, Donald Trump's a third party. All the Democrats hate him. All the Republicans hate him. There's your third party candidate, and people complain and cry about him all day long.
Well, if he had, do you really think Donald Trump would have won if he had ran as a third party?
Absolutely. Totally.
I don't think so.
Why not?
I think he might have.
All the Republicans, all the never Trumpers voted against him anyway. They were coming out and saying that they were going to vote for Hillary Clinton. These are elected government officials, and the Republican Party came out and said, we're going to vote for Hillary Clinton because we don't want Donald Trump. The whole never Trumper movement was there. None of those people voted for Donald Trump, and he still won. Not to mention the fact now you got the walkaway movement. Now you got the Brexit movement. Now you got the gays for Trump, the Hispanics for Trump. All these other kinds of people, the Brett Kavanaugh people that were all pissed from what happened there. There's so many different people. Everyone wants to talk about these new Second Amendment supporters that are out there. All these people are moving away from the Democrat Party, and you never see anybody except for one or two little stragglers like Mitt Romney and Justin Amash go to the Democrat side. You got two elected black officials that are supporting Donald Trump for presidency, and both of them were absolutely ravaged by the Democrat Party.
Yeah. I mean, I see what
that thing is
but I don't agree. Unfortunately, I don't agree with you on that one. I don't think Donald Trump would have won if he had ran as an independent or whatever other third party he wanted to run as.
I think people liked him because he was, seen as a businessman, not a politician. And,
Yes,
at
and
the
that's what
time, it was popular that our country was being ran ridiculously, handing more out than we take in.
Well, I mean, that's why I liked him, because
there was a
he
lot of
thought
arguments.
about it as
We
a
run
business.
a country like a business, but and as far as I'm concerned, he was better than the average politician. So still think we're better off than what we would have had. So I don't know. A lot of people went on that, the fact that he was different, in my opinion.
Yeah, see, now Rich White out there says Trump would have been another Ross Perot if he had ran as a third party. He would have given Hillary the presidency. Thankfully, either side would have to be proven.
Well, there's the one thing that you can say is anybody that was on stage with him on the Republican side, none of them, besides Trump, would have been able to put up with all the stuff they've thrown at him since. I don't think
they were throwing, if it was somebody else, say it was a Republican that ran and won, would they have thrown so much at that person?
Probably not, because that Republican would have folded like all the rest of them do.
Yeah, I agree with you. The only one that might have put up a fight to a certain degree, I think, would have been Ted Cruz. So. But that's all history now. We got Trump, and I think personally myself, I thought he'd done a great job up to now, except for his one little, and it's a big hiccup on the bump stocks, because now the ATF has they could change anything they want now because it's already been done. It said a precedent. Is that the word I'm looking for? As I was saying, like right now, under the way they're stripping our rights, the states are stripping our rights away from us, and we're just like a bunch of sheep sitting here taking it. They're going to do it again. They could do it again, and we ain't got a leg to goddamn stand on.
There's plenty. I'm super pro Trump, and I'm absolutely proud of it. There's plenty of discussion to be had about the negative things that Trump has done since he's been in office. But nobody ever wants to. They always want to talk about his tweets and his hair and the way he talks to the press and all his media stuff. There's plenty of stuff that he's done that's been fantastic. There's plenty of stuff that he's done that's kind of been mediocre. And there's been a few things that he's done that is absolutely disastrous. And nobody ever wants to talk about it. It's just orange man bad.
That's right. I agree with you. I think he's done hell of a lot of good stuff. He's cut a lot of the red tape on a bunch of bullshit. He got the economy going again. And I think if he gets reelected, this economy will be strong again, like it was, because he'll get it back that way again. Because that's just the kind of guy he is.
Well, that's what the media pushing that thing. There is a new normal. We're not going back to normal. Well, if you think about it, what was normal 6 months ago? Lowest unemployment for everybody across the board.
Yeah.
There's more money, and I got people in my family that talk about it, and they're nuts or whatever, and I don't talk to them very much because of that. But they can't see that. Oh no, it's all for companies and just all the same nonsense. And that usually when it starts going, that's when I close my eyes and put my fingers in my ears.
Well, he goes tactical out there. Goes Rick. We asked citizens put those people in power. Of course, there is something we can do about it. Mm-hmm. Okay, how come we got politicians that have been in power for 40 years.
Because
We're all too goddamn lazy. They're there. Let them do it, and we just sit here and put up with the crap.
Gerrymandering. Gerrymandering is the number one reason that politicians get reelected over and over again, because as soon as they get elected, they are able to redraw districts, and they redraw them in their favor.
Yeah, I mean, I know the ones I'm going to talk. I mean, there's Republican ones too that have been there for years, and I've said this before on my show. A career politician, it should never be. Politics should not be a career. I'm sorry. You know, it should be like it should have been. You go do your 1 or 2 year terms, then you go back to farming or running your goddamn factory, whatever you did before you got into it.
And that's another thing. Bonus pro-Trump, Orange Man good. Look at all the people that are super involved now that Donald Trump came down that escalator and said he was going to be president. And now that he's president, so many more people are politically involved. Now there's a whole bunch of them that are just out to slash tires, but there's a whole bunch of people that had their tires slashed that are like, wait a second, I don't support this kind of stuff. Let me see what this guy's doing. This was never about Donald Trump, ever. Maybe to Donald Trump it was, maybe to the Republicans and the media it was, but this whole Trump movement is about all of us. It's about, like Ghost was saying, us taking our country back, not putting up with this anymore, calling the media fake, calling politicians corrupt. You know, that lady that opened her store and refused to apologize to the judge that you talked about earlier. That's what we got to keep going on. You know, G-Web's put out a video a couple weeks ago about something about the Communist Party, and I mentioned in there, I said, this is the time right now. This is the most pivotal time in all of our lives, and we can put a real huge dent in the communist ideals if we just continue to push and push and push. Every time the media says China is good, we need 10,000 people saying no, China is communist.
Yeah, China is communist, and there's no way to look at it. I mean, have you noticed another little side story? We'll get back to that, but on China, there has been, what was it, 3? I think it's been 3. They're not doctors. I think they're just hospital workers or whatever, have complained that they've got the virus or whatever, but they're being forced to work. They have fallen out of the 3rd-story window of this hospital. 3 of them now.
I thought that was Russia.
Yeah, was that Russia or was that China?
Yeah. I thought it was
I
China.
think it was Russia.
Yeah, I thought it was Russia because I was talking about it the other day.
They're both
All
communist.
3 accidentally fell out the same window, huh?
Yeah, but they're both communist countries, so
isn't that a shame?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but no, China is communist, and they are bad. But the only problem is, as the free market, right, does some great stuff. That's how this economy gets to what it's like. But it comes down to the shareholders, the bottom line. And if they can make a product in a foreign country for a cheaper price, if it costs $50 to make it here in the United States, and they can sell it for $75 and get a $25 profit, we say, oh, that's great. But if they can go make it in China for $25 and sell it here for $75 and make $50, that is what they're going to do.
Stop buying products when they're made. Yeah. If you go to your favorite pencil store and you buy a box of U.S. made pencils, and then next week you go and buy another box that says made in China, don't buy that box. And real quick, just to cover, it's a myth that products will be more expensive. It's a myth. The reason that China makes our products is because there's too much government involved. You get the government out, and the companies will come back to the United States. They will make them here. And yeah, okay, your cell phone might cost $100, $200, $300 extra dollars for the first couple of years. But once those businesses get established, those prices will come down. And if the quality is not continuing to go up to justify the prices will come down. Absolutely.
And the other thing, China isn't really in control. everything that China has is from outside. They don't. They if people cut them off, they would fold because they don't. They're communists. Their people are living in disarray and horribleness over
Do
there.
they have? Does China have a national product that they sell?
China doesn't make anything, as far as I
No.
understand.
Yeah,
They manufacture almost everything, but like your cell phone's made in 10 different countries, and then they ship it all to China, and China puts it together, and then little kids jump out of windows.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know. It's sometimes it gets too complicated even for me. Okay, but here's a question for you, or just a bad detail, a bad example, I should say. Car manufacturing here in the United States, right? Now, I'm not a great union guy. I don't, I've never been fond of unions. I think, the unions want. I understand they're looking after their members, but sometimes they want too much money, a wage paid to their workers more than what I think that job is worth dollar wise. Am I making sense?
No, I agree with that.
And so they're pricing themselves out of the market because I got to pay this guy $50 an hour.
Deals, so a lot of the markets are locked up.
No.
Well, see, I've got a lot with the union.
What was that, Patriot?
I got experience with the unions and stuff. I've never in them, but I worked with them all over everywhere. One of my grandfathers was in the sit down strike at Fisher Body. That started all of it, and the reason it started was a good reason. But I can count the times that the drunk was the one that they helped. The guy that crashed the high-low and tore down half a stanchion for a machine because he was drunk and fell asleep. They got his job back, but the hard worker or whatever. So I got a bad rub with them just because of that. But where I've lived is Union Town, so it's just if it's Union, it's great. But then you get guys that don't pay attention to anything except for what they're told because that's how they're gonna progress or whatever. And so I don't know. I don't like talking about it because people don't like hearing about it, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know. That was just a thought. That was my thinking on it. That's another reason why companies go elsewhere because you can get stuff done cheaper in other countries than you can here. It goes back to the bottom. It goes back to what I was saying. It's the bottom line. If a company can make more money for its shareholders, that is what they're going to do. That's the free market. So by forcing companies to come back to the United States, are we hindering or helping the free market?
We're not forcing any companies to come back. First of all, we're enticing them to come back, and they're coming back on their own free will. And we don't have a free market system in this country. We haven't had a free market system in this country in probably 100 years, if not ever, because the day one the government stuck their fingers in it and started regulating. You remove all regulations and let the best ice cream store stand, then you have a free market. But there's way too much government. There's way too much government. And it's impossible. You mentioned it earlier. It's so hard to keep track of. That's the point. They made it so big and bulbous, and they want to keep growing it and growing it and growing it, so you can't pay attention to it.
Yeah.
I think we should be self-sufficient and make basically our own products. To be honest, then we wouldn't have such a demand other places. I know there's still some things that would have to be
And
done
I
for materials, things like
and I
that, but American products should be available, I think, and anything else there would be, in my opinion, a tariff on to make it compatible or comparable to what it would cost to be made here if somebody wants to sell their product.
I agree with you, but 2 points. As you as a worker, I mean, let's be realistic now. It comes down to what are you willing to pay for an item and how much are you willing to take as a salary. If you want a high paying job, the end product is going to be expensive. Are you willing to pay that price? It's to me, it's a, I don't know.
I do in a sense already pay like $3 a pack of pencils versus $1 because they're made in America. To me, I still don't understand how it's cheaper to ship them just with the fuel over here. I don't understand that, but I try to buy American though with most of my products, even if it does cost a little more. So I personally wouldn't have an issue with it, especially if it's a better quality product.
Yeah.
The idea of like years, how you would buy it once is guaranteed for life until they started working
I
with
can
stock
also see.
holders, and now look at them.
I can also see why people buy foreign stuff, even though more than likely, I understand that you pay for what you get. If you buy something that only costs $20 and it keeps breaking, but if you pay $80 for something that's made in America and it's going to last you for a long time, you think that'd be a better deal.
The minimum wage is what caused that.
The problem is, for me, being on a fixed income or somebody's, say it's a single mother or whatever, works at McDonald's and stuff, and earning low wage, right? Coming up with $80 in one go is a lot of money. Coming up with 20 in one go, oh, I can do that. You understand where I'm coming from?
The minimum wage is one of the main reasons that our market is the way it is. The minimum wage needs to be abolished immediately, and you'll see a difference. The $7 an hour French fry cook at McDonald's, that might become a $2 an hour job, and then you'll see the people who take that job being high school kids, like it's supposed to be, or it could turn into an $11 an hour job. If you decide that but what I'm saying is, if you choose to work for $5 an hour making fries, and I choose to work for $4, I'm going to get that job and you're not. But the minimum wage doesn't give you that opportunity. There's no competition there. Same thing, the competition. The reason that American pencils are expensive and Chinese pencils are cheap is China pays little children 2 cents a day and then dumps them in a mass grave once they die and replaces them with another child. We have standards in the United States. You bring all pencil manufacturing back to the United States, and not only will Rob make pencils, but you're going to be like, man, Rob's making a killing over there making these pencils. I'm going to get into that. And then Rick's going to make pencils, and Rob will have some competition. Rob will lower his prices. Yeah, you got to let the market work. You've got to set the free market free and let it do what it's supposed to do. And if you got a minimum wage, you can't do what it can do. And if you, like you were saying, if you allow the companies to go across seas and you buy a pencil that's made by some little kid for 2 cents a day, well, then we're going to have Chinese pencils forever.
Yeah, I understand where you're coming from. There's going to be a time there where it all works out that some people are going to struggle with it until everything transfers over to totally, American.
And I'm not saying that we don't have to have Chinese pencils. There's plenty of room in the United States for Chinese pencils and American pencils. If you're living on a budget and you can't afford Rob's pencils because they're $1 a piece, and Xi Jinping will sell you 15 of them for $1, then go ahead and buy them. That's fine. That's what the free market's all about. You can buy those products if you want.
Yeah, but as muscle dog here, and we agree with you. A bulk of a business cost comes from overtaxing and never-ending lines of red tape. Yeah, that is the problem. And Trump's been cutting
safety
through a lot of
laws,
that.
which in some cases are good, but in some it is a bit heavy-handed, overextended, in my opinion. Personal effect. I know a guy with a quarry that got it from his dad and hasn't been used. Not an issue. He goes up there, starts doing a little work. DEC did a flyover, noticed there was a change, came over and basically told the guy, we're going to hit you with all these fines, but if you want, you can get the waiver for, I think it was 125 grand, and you can do whatever you want. And so basically, you pay them the right amount of money, they just go away and come back and hit you again in a few years. So it was cheaper for him to pay that than the fines, which he had nothing,
Yeah, I mean, what was it Trump was
they
saying
just
when he
made
was
this stuff
elected?
up.
What was Trump when he was elected? Like building a road. It takes around 10 years to go through all the red tape to get permission to build a brand new road. And that shouldn't be. I'm sorry. That should not be.
Going back to the market real quick before we change subjects, who's buying these products? Americans are buying these products.
Yes.
The Russians, if America put up a wall right now and said, we'll never accept another product, no matter what it is, from China, China will disappear because Russia's not buying Samsung and Apple's cell phones and Nintendos and Nikes and all this kind of stuff. Sure, people over there buy that stuff, but America outspends every other nation on the planet easily. So all those products that we're talking about making and getting cheaper, you make them here because we're buying them here, And then and not only that, once Rob corners the market in America with his pencils, he can say, "Hey, Russia, we got some really fantastic pencils over here if you're interested in getting some," and then he can start supplying the world with pencils.
Yeah, good point.
Well, I bought 2 flags
the king
today,
of
and
the
they're both
world.
made in the United States, in Tennessee.
Yeah. Well, be honest with you. I a lot of things I buy on price. I don't even look to see where they're made. But I need to start doing that. I really do. So that's bad on me. So where's my Uberti being made at? That I'm getting on Friday.
That's probably a question for Squid.
It's more like made in Italy, isn't it, or somewhere like that? Where I don't know where Uberti plant is, where they make their. Do they have a plant over here where they make them? I don't know. I thought Rich White would know something like that out there in the audience because he's pretty. How about you, Sean? Sean's out in the audience too. How come you two ain't answering my question for me? Oh, Sean says they're made in Italy. That's what I said. That's what I thought. So the one I've got must have been in country before this epidemic. So, because we wouldn't be getting anything from Italy right now, would we? Half the country.
And even that, Italy is one of our allies. So if Italy makes a good pencil, or not a good pencil, because Rob's got the pencils, but makes a good handgun, hey, let's buy stuff from Italy. Italy's our friend. China is not our friend. Russia is not our friend.
I'll give discounts for large orders. Keep that in mind.
Who's been ignoring all your comments? I haven't, Sean. I've been reading them. I might not be talking about them, but I've been reading them. And some of that stuff you commented on earlier when you arrived, we had already discussed. That's why I didn't bring it up. So, Plus, I think you have an invite to join us anytime you like on the panel. I send you an email every Wednesday and every Saturday. So there we go. Well, you used to be on my list. I got to check to see if you're still there.
Does he do the morning show with you, Rick?
Who, Sean Ponnery? Yeah.
Yeah. I haven't talked to Sean in a while. How's he been? I mean, I could ask him out in the chat, but I'm just asking you now.
No, he's been a pain in the ass as normal.
Nice.
You know?
Here, let me see if I can remake.
Yep, that's it. That's Sean. That's Sean. You gotta listen between the machine noises to hear him. But otherwise, yeah. Oh, Sean, because
don't randomly start smashing keys on your keyboard because it will mess your computer up. Now I gotta go fix all this stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. He said he doesn't want to bounce in halfway through. He thinks it's rude. I don't mind you bouncing in. You know? So come in anytime. I've had people join the chat after I shut the live feed down. So coming anytime. Anyway, oh my God, it's 8:00 already. What a good show. I don't know if it was or not, but it went by fast for me tonight. Oh, my quiz question for Saturday. Email. Get it into me by noontime, Saturday, Eastern time. The question was, it had to do with Colonel Rex Applegate. I think it was in 1950 when he was in Mexico. He was charged by some crazy drunk guy, I think, waving a machete, and he pulled out a gun and shot him. I want to know what gun that was and what gun did that lead to being made about a year or so later. So it's a two-part question. What gun did he use to shoot the crazed guy waving the machete at him? And what gun did it lead up to being made? Email me at rickslife@gmail.com or spottedrick@gmail.com. And that's for a swag pack, of course. And I've got to... My box is getting kind of light here, guys. So if you guys got anything you want me to... I will promote your channel if you got any swag you want to send me. Just saying that. Just send me an email and I'll send you my mailing address if you haven't got it. I take all free swag. You know? If you even want to send me back the swag you want off of me, I'll take it and give it away to somebody else. Actually, I had some like that one time because I remember giving them something and I remember getting it back. So, but that's okay. I don't mind. So, anybody, the last 4 winners, I mailed your stuff out on Monday. So, you should be getting it any day now. So, I just wanted to mention that. So, hopefully, you should get it by the end of the week. I don't know if the mail's running on time or it's behind or anything like that. So, just wanted to mention that. All right. As we're about out of time, you got any New York Outcasts? You got any shout outs or plugs?
No, just have a good evening, everybody, and thanks for joining us. Thanks for having me, Ray.
No problem. Enjoy you having you here. Kingpin, anything?
Oh, yeah, thanks for having me. Always a good time. I apologize to everybody for being so pissy tonight, but I don't apologize for what I said. I just apologize for being so pissy about the way I said it. So thanks for having me. Everybody have a great night.
Yeah, and isn't there rants and raves tonight?
Yeah, definitely check out Road Call 219's channel 10:30 tonight for rants and raves.
Yeah. Oh, Jason Stewart said, really good show tonight for a bloody Englishman. You're all right. All right. I am the one and only, the man, the myth, the legend, or is it the other way around? Patriot in the Dark.
Sorry, I was in and out. I have a daughter home today, so she's being loud. But thanks for having me. I appreciate it. Sorry, I missed most of it.
Covered under the stairs for the hour.
I had to slam the door, and then she was still loud, so I had to open it up and slam it again. That doesn't help. So she's got headphones on too, so I guess. But
Right.
if the only thing I would say is, if you didn't catch it, watch Ghost Show last night.
Ghost Show last night.
Yes.
Ghost Tactical.
Yes.
Yeah, good show last night, huh?
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I'll have to go back and watch it then.
Yep. Yeah. It started probably like I don't even know how far into it. I listened to the show twice. Well, 2.5 times.
What's the topic about?
You'll just have to check it out. Mental health and
okay,
a lot of things. It was really good.
All right.
So
there you go. Everybody, go back and if you weren't there live, go back and listen to Ghost Tactical show from last night. So, all right.
Is it because it's a good show, or we all need mental help?
It depends. You watch it, and then it'll probably tell you.
Okay.
if you start watching and you get mad and then leave the show, then you probably need help. So I don't know. Anyways,
all right.
Have a nice night, and bye, Sabrina.
Yeah. All right. So I want to say thank you to everybody in the chat who stopped by. I really do appreciate it. I know that leftist never enough ammo's on at 9. And I said after him comes Rants and Raves. So there you go. And I'm going to have my. Actually last Wednesday it was in the 80s at 8:00 at night. Today it's about 50. So I'm back to my grilled cheese sandwiches tonight. I ain't going outside the grill. So, but 50 degrees is still warm to me. I'm still wearing shorts and t-shirts around here. So, all right. I want to say thank you, everybody, for being here. And I will be back on Saturday at 3 p.m. And hopefully, well, I should, unless something major happens between now and then, I will be having my, I should put out a video on my new purchase, my 1875 Outlaw that I'll be getting. So I will talk to you all later. So have a good one, everybody.
Patriot.